District 9 is a 2009 independent science fiction action thriller film directed by Neill Blomkamp. It was written by Blomkamp and Terri Tatchell, and produced by Peter Jackson and Carolynne Cunningham. The film stars Sharlto Copley, Jason Cope, and David James. The film won the 2010 Saturn Award for Best International Film presented by the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy and Horror Films, and was nominated for 4 Academy Awards in 2010, Best Picture, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Visual Effects, and Best Editing. The story, adapted from Alive in Joburg, a 2005 short film directed by Blomkamp and produced by Sharlto Copley and Simon Hansen, depicts humanity, xenophobia, and social segregation. The title and premise of District 9 were inspired by events in District 6, Cape Town during the apartheid era. The film was produced for $30 million and shot on location in Chiawelo, Soweto, presenting fictional interviews, news footage, and video from surveillance cameras in a mock documentary format. A viral marketing campaign began in 2008, at the San Diego Comic-Con, while the theatrical trailer appeared in July 2009. Released by TriStar Pictures, the film opened to critical acclaim on August 14, 2009, in North America and earned $37 million in its opening weekend. Many saw the film as a sleeper hit for achieving success and popularity during its theatrical run, despite a modest budget and relatively unknown cast. Plot: in an alternate 1982, a large alien spacecraft stops directly above Johannesburg. When investigation teams enter the ship, they discover a population of sick and malnourished extraterrestrials, identified derogatorily as prawns. The South African government confines the aliens to District 9, a government camp that is located outside of Johannesburg. Following periodic conflict between the aliens and the locals living near District 9, the government hires private military company Multinational United to relocate the aliens to a new internment. Wikus van der Merwe, an Afrikaner bureaucrat, is appointed by Piet Smit, an MNU executive and his father-in-law, to lead the relocation. Meanwhile, 3 aliens Christopher Johnson, his son, and a friend scavenge pieces of their technology from which they distill a fluid of their native provenance, storing it in a small canister. Wikus seizes the canister from the shack of Christopher's friend, but accidentally sprays some of the fluid onto his face. Christopher's friend is subsequently killed by Cobus Venter, a xenophobic soldier. Under the fluid's influence, Wikus gradually turns into an alien, starting with his left arm, and he is used by MNU to test various alien weapons which only function when handled by aliens. The scientists decide to vivisect Wikus, but he overpowers them and escapes. Smit orders Venter and his men to hunt Wikus down, while a cover story is published that says Wikus is a fugitive infected by an alien STD. Wikus finds refuge in District 9 and stumbles into Christopher's shack, where he learns that Christopher is hiding the lost command module of their spacecraft underground. Christopher discloses that the fluid in the canister would allow him to reactivate the command module and in turn, the dormant mothership, in which he claims he can reverse Wikus' mutation. To recover the canister from MNU headquarters, Wikus obtains alien weapons from superstitious Nigerian arms dealer Obasanjo and his gang, then he and Christopher attack the MNU offices, retrieve the canister, and flee to District 9 with MNU forces in pursuit. Appalled by the illegal experiments on his fellow aliens at MNU headquarters, Christopher decides to get help before curing Wikus, which will take 3 years. Frustrated, Wikus attacks Christopher and attempts to fly the command module to the mothership, and is almost immediately shot down by Venter and his men. They seize Wikus and Christopher, but Obasanjo's gang seize Wikus, acting on Obasanjo's belief that eating Wikus' transformed arm will enable him to use alien weaponry. Obasanjo's base is then attacked by MNU. In the command module, Christopher's son remotely activates the mothership and an alien mechanized battlesuit in Obasanjo's base which kills Obasanjo and his men. Wikus takes control of the battlesuit and rescues Christopher, who promises to return in 3 years with a cure for Wikus. Wikus kills all the attacking soldiers before Venter damages the suit enough to eject him. As he corners Wikus, a group of aliens kill Venter by tearing him apart violently. The command module with Christopher and his son is lifted into the mothership, and they use it to leave Earth, while Johannesburg's residents celebrate its departure. A series of interviews and news broadcasts are shown speculating about Wikus' whereabouts and the potential return of Christopher and the spacecraft, and what it may entail. MNU's illegal experiments are exposed, and District 9 demolished, with all the aliens removed to the larger District 10. Wikus' wife Tanya finds a metal flower on her doorstep, giving her hope that Wikus is still alive. The final scene shows an alien building a similar flower, strongly implying that Wikus has been fully transformed. Cast: Sharlto Copley as Wikus van der Merwe, a mild-mannered manager at the MNU Department of Alien Affairs. This was the first time acting professionally in a feature film for Copley, a friend of director Blomkamp. Jason Cope as Christopher Johnson, an alien. Cope also performed the role of Gray Bradnam, the UKNR chief correspondent and all the speaking aliens, as well as for the cameraman Trent. David James as Colonel Cooper's Venter, a PMC mercenary soldier sent to capture Wikus. He is shown as taking pleasure in killing the aliens and responding brutally to anyone who opposes him. Vanessa Haywood as Tanya Smith van der Merwe, Wikus' wife. Mandla Gadyankar as Fundiswamlinga, Wikus' assistant and trainee during the eviction. Kenneth Nkosi as Thomas, an MNU security guard. Eugene Kumbanyawa as Obasanjo, a paralyzed psychopathic Nigerian who believes that eating alien body parts will enable him to operate their weapons. Louis Minner as Piet Smit, a director at MNU, and Wikus' father-in-law. William Allen Young as Dirk Michaels, the CEO of MNU. Robert Hobbs as Ross Pienaar. Nathalie Boltt as Sarah Livingston, a sociologist at Kempton Park University. Sylvain Stryke as Katrina Mackenzie, a doctor from the Department of Social Assistance. John Sumner as Leigh Feldman, a MIL engineer. Nick Blake as Francois Moragnou, a member of the CIV engineer team. Jed Brophy as James Hope, the ACU chief of police. Vittorio Leonardi as Michael Bloemstein, from the MNU Department of Alien Civil Affairs. Joan Van Seur as Nicholas van der Merwe, Wikus' father. Marion Human as Sandra van der Merwe, Wikus' mother. Stella Steenkamp as Phyllis Sinderson, a co-worker of Wikus. Tim Gordon as Clive Henderson, an entomologist at WLG University. Jonathan Taylor as the Doctor. Nick Borain as Lieutenant Weldon, Colonel Venter's right-hand man. Themes: Like Alive in Joburg, the short film on which the feature film is based. The setting of District 9 is inspired by historical events during the apartheid era, particularly alluding to District 6, an inner-city residential area in Cape Town, declared a whites-only area by the government in 1966, with 60,000 people forcibly removed to Cape Flats, 25 km away. The film also refers to contemporary evictions and forced removals to suburban ghettos in post-apartheid South Africa, as well as the resistance of its residents. This includes the high-profile attempted forced removal of the Joe Slovo informal settlement in Cape Town to temporary relocation areas in Delft, plus the attempted evictions of Abe Lawley based Mjondolo and evictions in the Shack settlement, Chiawelo, where the film was actually shot. Blikkiesdorp, a temporary relocation area in Cape Town, has also been compared with the District 9 camp, earning a front-page spread in the Daily Voice. The film emphasizes the irony of Wikus becoming more humane as he becomes less human. Chris Mikesell from the Hawaii newspaper Ka Leo writes that substitute black, Asian, Mexican, illegal, Jew, or any number of different labels for the word prawn in this film and you will hear the hidden truth behind the dialogue. Themes of racism and xenophobia are shown in the form of speciesism. Used to describe the aliens, the word prawn is a reference to the Parktown prawn, a king cricket species considered a pest in South Africa. Copley has said that the theme is not intended to be the main focus of the work, but can work at a subconscious level even if it is not noticed. Dwayne Dubke from the journal Sentinel wrote that the result is an action film about xenophobia, in which all races of humans are united in their dislike and mistrust of an insect-like species. An underlying theme in District 9 is state reliance on multinational corporations as a government-funded enforcement. As MNU represents the type of corporation which partners with governments, the negative portrayal of MNU in the film depicts the dangers of outsourcing militaries and bureaucracies to private contractors. Production, development. Producer Peter Jackson planned to produce a film adaptation based on the Halo video game franchise with first-time director Neill Blomkamp. Due to a lack of financing, the Halo adaptation was placed on hold. Jackson and Blomkamp discussed pursuing alternative projects and eventually chose to produce and direct, respectively, District 9. Blomkamp had previously directed commercials and short films, but District 9 was his first feature film. The director co-wrote the script with Terri Tatchell and chose to film in South Africa, where he was born. In District 9, Tatchell and Blomkamp returned to the world explored in his short film Alive in Joburg, choosing characters, moments and concepts that they found interesting, including the documentary-style filmmaking, staged interviews, alien designs, alien technology mecha suits, and the parallels to racial conflict and segregation in South Africa, and fleshing out these elements for the feature film. QED International fully financed the production of the independent film, underwriting the negative cost prior to American Film Market 2007. At AFM 2007, QED entered into a distribution deal with Sony's TriStar Pictures for North America and other English-language territories, Korea, Italy, Russia and Portugal. Filming: the film was shot on location in Chiawelo, Soweto during a time of violent unrest in Alexandra, Gauteng and other South African townships involving clashes between native South Africans and Africans born in other countries. The location that portrays District 9 in itself was in fact a real impoverished neighborhood from which people were being forcibly relocated to government-subsidized housing. Filming for District 9 took place during the winter in Johannesburg, South Africa. According to director Neill Blomkamp, during the winter season, Johannesburg actually looks like Chernobyl, a nuclear apocalyptic wasteland. Blomkamp wanted to capture the deserted, bleak atmosphere and environment, so he and the crew had to film during the months of June through July. The film took a total of 60 days of shooting. Filming in December raised another issue in that there was much more rain. Due to the rain, there was a lot of greenery to work with, which Blomkamp did not want. In fact, Blomkamp had to cut some of the vegetation in the scenery to portray the setting as desolate and dark. The film features many weapons and vehicles produced by the South African arms industry, including the R5 and Vector Creek 21 assault rifles, Denel NTW 20-20mm sniper rifle, BXP submachine gun, Casper armored personnel carrier, Ratel infantry fighting vehicle, Ruacat tank, Atlas Oryx helicopter and militarized Toyota Hilux. Blomkamp said no single film influenced District 9, but cited the 1980s hardcore sci-fi action films such as Alien, Aliens, The Terminator, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, Predator and RoboCop as subconscious influences. The director said, "I don't know whether the film has that feeling or not for the audience, but I wanted it to have that harsh 1980s kind of vibe. I didn't want it to feel glossy and slick." Because of the amount of handheld shooting required for the film, the producers and crew decided to shoot using the digital Red 1 4K camera. Cinematographer Trent Opaloch used 9 digital Red 1s owned by Peter Jackson for primary filming. According to HD Magazine, District 9 was shot on Red 1 cameras using Build 15, Cooke S4 primes and engineer zooms. The documentary-style and CCTV cam footage was shot on the Sony EX1/EX3 XD HD. Additionally, the post-production team was warned that the most red footage they could handle a day was about an hour and a half. When that got to 5 hours a day, reinforcements were called in and 120 terabytes of data was filled. Visual effects. Already as a young child living in South Africa, Blomkamp was captivated by artwork and visual effects. "I knew I wanted to be in movies so I thought I wanted to be in special effects, like model making and prosthetic effects. The combination of knowing he would find a career in the visual effects area and the advancement of technology allowing better computer graphics capabilities led him to work at a Canadian post-production company as a visual effects artist. The aliens in District 9 were designed by Weta Workshop, and the design was executed by Image Engine. Blomkamp wanted the aliens to maintain both humanistic and barbaric features in the design of the creatures. According to Terri Tatchell, the director's writing partner, "They are not appealing, they are not cute, and they don't target our heartstrings." He went for a scary, hard, warrior-looking alien, which is much more of a challenge. The look of the alien, with its exoskeleton crustacean hybrid and crab-like shells, was meant to initially evoke a sense of disgust from viewers, but as the story progresses, the audience was meant to sympathize with these creatures who had such human-like emotions and characteristics. Blomkamp established criteria for the design of the aliens. He wanted the species to be insect-like but also bipedal. The director wanted the audience to relate to the aliens and set a restriction on the creature design. Unfortunately, they had to be humanesque because our psychology doesn't allow us to really empathize with something unless it has a face and an anthropomorphic shape. Like if you see something that's four-legged, you think it's a dog. That's just how we're wired. If you make a film about an alien force, which is the oppressor or aggressor, and you don't want to empathize with them, you can go to town. So creatively that's what I wanted to do, but story-wise, I just couldn't. Blomkamp originally sought to have Weta Digital design the creatures, but the company was busy with effects for Avatar. The director then decided to choose a Vancouver-based effects company because he anticipated to make films there in the future and because British Columbia offered a tax credit. Blomkamp met with Image Engine and considered them a bit of a gamble since the company had not pursued a project as large as a feature film. Aside from the aliens appearing on the operating table in the medical lab, all of them were created using CGI visual effects. Weta Digital designed the 2.5 km diameter mothership and the dropship, while the exosuit and the little pets were designed by the Embassy Visual Effects. Zoic Studios performed overflow 2D work. On-set live special effects were created by MXFX. Music. The music for District 9 was scored by Canadian composer Clinton Shorter, who spent 3 weeks preparing for the film. Director Neill Blomkamp wanted a raw and dark score, but one that maintained its South African roots. This was a challenge for Shorter, who found much of the South African music he worked with to be optimistic and joyful. Unable to get the African drums to sound dark and heavy, Shorter used a combination of taiko drums and synthesized instruments for the desired effects, with the core African elements of the score conveyed in the vocals and smaller percussion. Both the score and soundtrack feature music and vocals from Soweto artists. Marketing. Sony Pictures launched a humans-only marketing campaign to promote District 9. Sony's marketing team designed its promotional material to emulate the segregational billboards that appear throughout the film. Billboards, banners, posters, and stickers were thus designed with the theme in mind, and the material was spread across public places such as bus stops in various cities, including humans-only signs in certain locations and providing toll-free numbers to report non-human activity. Promotional material was also presented at the 2008 San Diego Comic-Con, advertising the website d-9.com, which had an application presented by the fictional multinational United. The website had a local alert system for Johannesburg, news feeds, behavior recommendations, and rules and regulations. Other viral websites for the film were also launched, including an MNU website with a countdown timer for the film's release, an anti-MNU blog run by fictional alien character Christopher Johnson, and an MNU-sponsored educational website. An online game for District 9 has also been made where players can choose to be a human or an alien. Humans are MNU agents on patrol trying to arrest or kill aliens. Aliens try to avoid capture from MNU agents whilst searching for alien canisters. WETA released in July 2010 Christopher Johnson and Sana's sculptures. Reception. Box office. As of November 4, 2009, District 9 had grossed an estimated $210,819,205, of which $115,646,235 was from Canada and the United States, making it a huge box office success, with a revenue 7 times its original production budget of only $30 million. It opened in 3,048 theaters in Canada and the United States on August 14, 2009, and the film ranked first at the weekend box office with an opening gross of $37,354,308. Among comparable science fiction films in the past, its opening attendance was slightly less than the 2008 film Cloverfield and the 1997 film Starship Troopers. The audience demographic for District 9 was 64% male and 57% people 25 years or older. The film stood out as a summer film that generated strong business despite little-known casting. Its opening success was attributed to the studio's unusual marketing campaign. In the film's second weekend, it dropped 49% in revenue while competing against the opening film Inglourious Basterds for the male audience, as Sony Pictures attributed the good hold to District 9's strong playability. The film enjoyed similar success in the UK with an opening gross of £82,288,378 showing at 447 cinemas. Critical response: a film received critical acclaim, with Rotten Tomatoes reporting that 90% of critics gave the film a positive review, based on a sample of 261, with an average score of 7.8 out of 10. The website wrote of the consensus, "Technically brilliant and emotionally wrenching, District 9 has action, imagination, and all the elements of a thoroughly entertaining science fiction classic." At Metacritic, which assigns a weighted average rating out of 100 to reviews from mainstream critics, the film has received a score of 81 based on 36 reviews, indicating universal acclaim. IGN listed District 9 as 24 on a list of the 25 great sci-fi films ever. Sarah Wilkerson of the New York Observer wrote, "District 9 is the most exciting science fiction movie to come along in ages. Definitely the most thrilling film of the summer. And quite possibly the best film I've seen all year." Christy Lemire from the Associated Press was impressed by the plot and thematic content, claiming the District 9 has the aesthetic trappings of science fiction but it's really more of a character drama, an examination of how a man responds when he's forced to confront his identity during extraordinary circumstances. Entertainment Weekly's Lisa Schwartzbaum described it as madly original, cheekily political, and altogether exciting. Roger Ebert praised the film for giving us aliens to remind us not everyone who comes in a spaceship need be angelic, octopod or stainless steel, but complains that the third act is disappointing, involving standard shootout action. No attempt is made to resolve the situation, and if that's a happy ending, I've seen happier. Despite its creativity, a film remains space opera and avoids the higher realms of science fiction. Josh Tyler of Cinema Blend says the film is unique in interpretation and execution, but considers it to be a knockoff of the 1988 film Alien Nation. Controversy: Nigeria's Information Minister Dora Akunile asked movie theaters around the country to either ban the film or edit out specific references to the country, because of the film's negative depiction of the Nigerian characters as criminals and cannibals. Letters of complaint were sent to the producer and distributor of the film demanding an apology. She also said the gang leader Obasanjo is almost identical in spelling and pronunciation to the surname of former President Olusegun Obasanjo. The film was later banned in Nigeria. The Nigerian Film and Video Censors Board was asked to prevent cinemas from showing the film and also to confiscate it. Hakeem K. Kazim, a Nigerian-born British actor, also criticized the portrayal of Nigerians in the film, telling the Bild newspaper Africa is a beautiful place and the problems it does have can not be shown by such a small group of people. Accolades: District 9 was named one of the top 10 independent films of 2009 by the National Board of Review of Motion Pictures. The film received 4 Academy Awards nominations, 7 British Academy Film Awards nominations, 5 Broadcast Film Critics Association nominations, as 1 Golden Globe nomination. It is the 4th TriStar Pictures film ever nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards. It was also the first mockumentary-style film to be nominated for Best Picture. It won the 2009 Bradbury Award from the Science Fiction and Fantasy Writers of America. Home media: the Blu-ray disc and Region 1 code widescreen edition of District 9 as well as the 2-disc special edition version on DVD was released on December 22, 2009. The DVD and Blu-ray disc includes the documentary The Alien Agenda, A Filmmaker's Log, and the special features Metamorphosis, The Transformation of Wikas, Innovation, Acting and Improvisation, Conception and Design, Creating the World of District 9, and Alien Generation, Visual Effects. The demo for the video game God of War 3 featured in the 2009 Electronic Entertainment Expo is also included with the Blu-ray release of District 9 playable on the Sony PlayStation 3. Sequel: on August 1, 2009, 2 weeks before District 9 was released to cinemas, Neill Blomkamp hinted that he intended to make a sequel if the film was successful enough. During an interview on the Rude Awakening 94.7 Higveld stereo breakfast radio show, he alluded to it, saying there probably will be. Nevertheless, he revealed that his next problem is unrelated to the District 9 universe. In an interview with Rotten Tomatoes, Blomkamp stated that he was totally hoping for a follow-up. "I haven't thought of a story yet, but if people want to see another one, I'd love to do it." Blomkamp has posed the possibility of the next movie in the series being a prequel. In an interview with Empire magazine posted on April 28, 2010, Sharlto Copley suggested that a follow-up, while very likely, would be about 2 years away, given his and Neill Blomkamp's current commitments. In an interview with IGN in June 2013, Blomkamp said, "I really want to make a District 9 sequel. I genuinely do. The problem is I have a bunch of ideas and stuff that I want to make. I'm relatively new to this I'm about to make my third film, and now the pattern that I am starting to realize is very true is that you lock yourself into a film beyond the film you're currently working on. But it just doesn't work for me." Blomkamp also revealed that it is to be called District 10. See also, White Savior narrative in film, list of films featuring powered exoskeletons, references. External links, official website, District 9 at All Movie, District 9 at the Internet Movie Database, District 9 at the TCM Movie Database, District 9 at Rotten Tomatoes, District 9 at Metacritic, District 9 at Box Office Mojo.